Ever since I became a progressive, I've accepted that life is unfair and suffering is life. I just try my best to get out there and try to make it more fair and reduce as much suffering as I can instead of dooming. But I don't think life is suffering, man. I think that for the most part, life is pretty cool, actually. I don't know. I feel like we capitulate a lot there. A lot of it is you know, people, they accept the emotional impulses in the brain and then they rationalize it and legitimize it through political theory, you know? Life can be pretty good. Yeah, if you have money. Okay, can I be real with you guys? That's exactly the kind of pissy bullshit that I hate. No, fuck you, okay? Life gets way, way, way easier if you have money. But if you think that the, like, pursuit of happiness and self-fulfillment and actualization is something that's gate-kept behind wealth, you're flatly wrong. Look at any wealthy people, man. Jesus. And there are tons of people who are poor and happy. Listen, I think that having wealth makes a serious difference, but it is harmful to your mental health to believe that by virtue of your bank account, you're like locked in on the bad timeline, you know? I do not buy that. And there are so many people out there who are poor, who are miserable for reasons that aren't because they're poor. They're miserable because they are just consigned to that attitude about themselves, you know? Haha, guys, who's wealthier than anyone watching says fuck you. Wealthier than anyone watching? Sake Tanuki alone definitely has a greater net worth than me. Says fuck you to anyone who suggests wealth that makes a difference. I'm banning you. Why am I banning you? Because I just said wealth makes a difference. You can't do that, man. And when I ban in YouTube chat, that shit is forever. I'm never going back to the ban logs. Do you have any idea how bad the UI is for unbanning people? You're into the fucking void. That's crazy. You can't do that. You can't just lie about what I said. He's talking like a wealthy person. Okay, this is exactly what I mean. Okay? You people are miserable by your own design, because if you weren't miserable by your own design, the things making you miserable would also lead you away from making these assumptions. You're stuck. You've built the rut for yourself. I never said being wealthy doesn't help. But you're the one who's using your lack of wealth as an excuse to have a shit attitude. Work on yourselves, okay? Yeah, clean your dang room. Y'all acting like Vaush said the slaves were happy? Nah, the slaves were probably miserable. But you know what I would say if I could go back in time? I probably wouldn't say this to a slave. If I was talking to a slave, I'd probably be like, holy shit, dude, we gotta get you out of here or something. I don't know what I'd say. If I warp back in time, how much time do I have there? Can I do a John Brown? I don't know. Well, the point I was going to make was that no matter how bad your life situation is, you should always try to take a positive attitude towards self-actualization. It has nothing to do with your wealth or how unfair your life is. It's just, that's like the bedrock upon which you can make the most of what you have. Even if what you have is very little. And I bet you, and I'm gonna be a little presumptuous here, but I bet you a lot of those motherfuckers who were enslaved put a lot of effort into trying to eke out whatever happiness they could under those circumstances, you know? Like, I bet you that there was probably a pretty big difference between the ones who resigned to their fate. I don't know how well they would have done mentally, and the ones who were like, well, this is fucking ass, but we're gonna do like everything we can. I'm gonna keep my friends as close as I can, my family, and I don't know, I'm gonna do... What could they do for fun, man? I don't know. They sang songs. YouTube chat be like, I'm not gonna sing songs. That's for the happy. Oh, sing songs? What, like a wealthy person? I'm sorry, we need to play this game. I'm sorry. I just want people to take a good attitude. It's not about, like, life not being hard. Life is super hard. For everyone, even wealthy people, to be honest. Because the hard parts about life aren't just getting your basic needs met. It's figuring out where you belong and what makes you happy and how to satiate that hedonic treadmill that tells you that whatever you have isn't enough. Like, I'm a lot happier now than I was 3 or 4 years ago. But I'm not happier now because I have more money. Actually, I'm pretty sure that, like, income-wise, I made more 3 or 4 years ago because I wasn't paying 2 editors, plus White Nervosa, plus the channel's in a bit of a lull right now. It happens, it has ups and downs, you know, blah, 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 blah. The main reason I'm happier now is because I've made myself a little bit more emotionally available, enough to have a real relationship with my beautiful partner. Now, my beautiful partner is very easy to love. I'm not going to take any credit for that one. They're awesome. But I wouldn't have been able to have that relationship with them if I didn't make myself available, which is difficult for me because as a person whose job has made him slightly cynical about socializing with other people, it can be a little bit difficult to take that seriously sometimes, you know? You get a little bit in your head about interacting with other people or about viability for long-term relationships. None of this has anything to do with wealth. But you all understand the point that I'm making, right? Like, none of the things that I'm talking about right now have anything to do with my wealth, really. It's about my emotional state.
Your positivity pep talks and feminism content is honestly my favorite from you. Thank you. Would love to see more.
Yeah, I like talking about it. I certainly like talking about it more than, like, here's the latest iteration of our country collapsing, you know? I think it's more important to talk about those cultural issues that really, you know, relate to a person day to day. Living is hard. I think that a lot of people still haven't fully internalized that, even though they think they know it.
My logic is basically a variation on the famous Gandalf quote during hard times. All we have to decide is what to do with the time that is given us.
Oh, I think there's a lot of truth to that. I just don't like it when I see people squander what potential they have for happiness. Even if life is hard generally, you still have an obligation to yourself to make the most of what you have, right? Would you suggest that everyone who has chronic pain or some kind of disability must necessarily give up on happiness? I think that'd be ridiculous. I think a lot of people would think it's a horrible mentality to have. But you could justify that. You could be like, well, I'm not happy and I don't have a disability/chronic illness, so for them it's pretty much over. It's just self-defeating nonsense. But performative unhappiness can be comfortable.
Everyone should watch the amazing movie, Life is Beautiful, about a Jewish waiter and his son in Nazi Germany keeping their smiles alive.
That's a very on-the-nose title. I'm not familiar with that. Has anyone seen this? Has anyone seen that, has anyone seen that movie? Great French movie? Okay, it's a foreign film. Yeah, I'm not much of a film buff. I've always wanted to get more into foreign films, like French specifically, because they have a good film industry, right? What would you say is something that makes you happy every day? Oh, lots of stuff. I mean, obviously playing with cats and having a cup of coffee in the morning. My beautiful partner has been away for a work trip for a while now, and will be still away for a while. And every day I've been trying to clean the house up a little bit more to prepare for their return. So every day when I, like, get out a razor blade to, you know, clean grout lines or, you know, the new place that we live at, or try to fix everything up, it makes me happy to imagine them being happier when they get back. Unbearably schmaltzy, but it's true. The channel's been having a bit of a slump lately. I think it's because the YouTube AI algorithm change they put in, the one that made it so that everyone who was suspected of being under 18 had their content preferences auto-block adult content, which would include, you know, politics. I think that it's led to, because probably about like a fifth to a quarter of my audience is 18 or younger, and it'll take them a while to work that out. So because fewer people are viewing, I think that it's led to a general algorithm hit. So streams have been quieter, viewership has been down. Not that that hasn't happened before, but it makes me want to get back to the basics, you know? Not be so militant and gung-ho about segments. More like, focus on the community. Which is one of the reasons, by the way, which is why I've been more of a dick to chat lately. Because I sometimes, you know, I have expectations about the way I want chat to behave, and I watch, like, Northern Lion or Joseph Anderson, and I see that their chats behave differently, and I don't want my chats to behave like their chats, because chats are different, right? Different groups of people. But more like I see community-oriented tendencies that I want to be a little bit better about. But the kinds of community-oriented stuff that people have encouraged me to do in the past don't always interest me, like OKBV stuff, right? I would enjoy looking at OKBV occasionally and taking a look at what they have, just like as a matter of choice, but having a scheduled itinerary with hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of stuff to go through in a big list, that's a little bit daunting and less interesting to me. I'll still have to do something about that at some point. Does that make any sense? Anyway, it's just what got me wanting to focus more on community stuff, and I think that playing games is very important. It can't all be politics, you know? I do owe an OKBV.